"Get out. You've disgraced us." That's what my father yelled the night my world shattered. My mother stood beside him, pale and trembling, but silent. The rain pounded my shoulders as I clutched the hand of the girl I thought I'd spend my life with, and felt a small, quivering plus sign tucked in my pocket. The door slammed before I could turn around. 18 years later, that same door opened again. They arrived dressed in Sunday clothes, shivering with a mix of regret and greed. I let them in, but they were unprepared for what they would see or for what they wouldn't. I was 17, straight-A student, college-bound, my father's pride, the boy who was never supposed to make mistakes, until I fell in love. She wasn't from my world. Quiet, kind, the sort who doodled flowers on napkins and dreamed of leaving town. When she told me she was pregnant, I didn't hesitate. Then we raised them together. I said, that night my father found out. He called me a disgrace, said I'd thrown away my future for a mistake in a skirt. He made me pack my things while my mother sobbed behind the curtain. I thought love would be enough. But love doesn't pay rent. Love doesn't feed a child. Love doesn't survive the weight of silence, hunger, and regret. It started small. Late-night calls she took in the kitchen, a new perfume not her own, the way she flinched when I said, "I love you." I brushed it off, told myself I was paranoid, until one night, coming home early from my second job, I found the baby crying and her gone. Her phone lit up on the counter with a message. "I can't wait until he's out of your life. We can start fresh." From my father. I read it 3 times before it sank in. The girl who swore to love me. The parents who swore to hate me. They had found each other behind my back. While I worked to keep us alive, they plotted in secret. That night, I didn't confront her. I held the crying child, realizing my entire life had been set up for their guilt, secrecy, and eventual ruin. That's when I stopped reacting and started planning. I didn't rage. I didn't throw her out. I waited, because revenge isn't about pain. It's about precision. Move 1. I transferred the apartment lease, bills, and assets under her name. Rent, car loan, utilities, all of it. I wanted her to feel secure, to think she was winning. Move 2. I took a job at a tech firm. Entry-level, boring, but it gave me access. Data, systems, connections, favors owed. Over the years, I quietly built my empire. Haven Industries. Move 3. The child. The one they thought they knew? He didn't exist. No birth certificate. No legal record. Eli, the name I invented, was a ghost I could erase. She thought I was protecting him from my parents. I was protecting myself from her. Then, in year 18, fate knocked again. They arrived one Sunday afternoon, wrinkled, remorseful, holding flowers and cheap apologies. "Son," my father said, voice trembling with rehearsed guilt, "let's see the child. We made mistakes." Mistakes? That's what he called ruining my life. I smiled and opened the door wider. She was there too, my wife, as everyone believed, hair perfectly pinned, eyes wet with performance she'd mastered years ago. I told her they were coming. I wanted her there. They sat in the living room, glancing around. Photos on the walls. Me with a young boy at the beach, birthdays, laughter. All staged. All false. "Where is he?" my mother asked softly. "We just want to see him." I paused calm. "He's not here." "Oh, school," she said nervously. "No." I said, letting the silence stretch. "I mean he's not here." Her eyes flicked toward the photos. "What do you mean?" my father demanded. "What child?" I tilted my head. "Don't be ridiculous. Your son, our grandson." I stood, picked up a framed photo, and flipped it over. The glossy surface peeled slightly. The image was fake, generated, composed, perfect. "There never was a child," I said quietly. "Not in records. Not in life." My mother's voice cracked. "What were you saying?" I whispered, "A ghost to keep you out of my life. To make you believe I was still the boy you threw away, while I built an empire on your name and buried your shame beneath it." My father rose, face red. "You're insane." "Am I?" I opened my laptop, turning it toward him. Financial records. His company, the one he thought was thriving, quietly absorbed acquisition after acquisition by shell firms I controlled. Haven Industries, my company. Everything you own, I said steadily, has already been transferred. Your board signed a merger last week. You just didn't read the fine print. He stepped forward, trembling. You can't. I did, I said. My wife stared at me, pale as ash. What about me? You were his leverage. I told her. His way back in. But you got greedy. I pulled a small envelope from the drawer. Photocopies of her messages, secret transfers, and her planned getaway. Every lie tracked, every account traced. Both sides lost. She lunged for me. My father grabbed her arm, confused and humiliated. I walked to the door slowly. Get out, I said softly. The same words they had once used on me. They stumbled into daylight. My father shouting, my mother crying, the woman who betrayed me cursing between sobs. I watched from the porch, the same porch where they left me to rot 18 years ago. That night, the house was quiet. No fake laughter. No illusion of a child. Just the soft hum of my servers downstairs. The pulse of a life rebuilt alone, by design. People ask why I never remarried, why I never had children. They don't understand. I did have one. He just never needed to exist. He was my creation, my story, my protection, a child of paper and pixels, lies and revenge. He kept me safe long enough to destroy those who destroyed me. I stood at the window that night, looking out at the empty street. Thunder rumbled somewhere in the distance, the same sound that filled the air when my father kicked me out. Poetic, really. The cycle had closed. 18 years for 18 words. When they left, my father turned, voice trembling. What are you? I looked him in the eye and smiled. Exactly what you made me. I wasn't your son anymore. I was your consequence.